So I ice fish a lot, and typically distances have always been difficult for me to overcome. Just, dragging stuff through heavy snow over long distances is obviously no fun. So this year I decided to go ahead and make a Smitty sled. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a platform on skis that reduces the amount of pull just because you don't have as much friction. And obviously on those big sleds, you aren't just pulling ridiculous amounts of snow. So hopefully it'll make me a lot more mobile this year. That's the goal at least, and maybe access some areas that I hadn't been able to in the past. To start off, I'm just going to go ahead and take off the bindings off these old skis. Everything that you see here cost me less than $30. Obviously, if you can find somebody that's got some old skis to give you, that'll make things wildly cheaper. But super simple thing. This is going to be wildly rustic. It's not refined. I'm sure there's probably better things you can find online for schematics as to how to make them stronger, better, and whatnot. But I'm just going to make a quick version of it. If there's anything that you guys can think of to make them much more effective, by all means let me know. So I'm going to go ahead and take those bindings off, and I'll go ahead and get back to you guys as soon as that's all done. Bindings on those came off pretty easy, so that was good. Now just going to go ahead and clean them up a little bit. Obviously we do have holes where the bindings were, so I'm going to go ahead and fill those in with some epoxy. I don't know how much that'll really make a difference as far as the strength of it, but might as well not have as many holes if you can avoid it. So go ahead and do that real quick and go on to the next step. Alright, so all of the epoxy should have cured by now. Give it plenty of time as far as that goes. Got everything lined up. My sled for my shanty that actually touches the ground is 44 inches, so got everything lined up. Gonna drill some quick holes for the screws to go into. So go ahead and do that, and then we'll get on next. Now we're just countersinking some screws in there so they don't get caught up on everything. That's good. Clean this side up and switch on over to the other side. Now I'm just putting the last few screws into the brace here, and should just be about done then. And by no means does anybody have to make them this wide. I'm sure it's probably actually easier to have it a little bit more narrow, but I want my shanty to actually sit on the inside of this, flipped upside down in my truck, just to save space. So do what you want as far as, making them more or less narrow, but I think this is what's going to work for me. So lastly, we're just drilling the holes in the front of the skis to go ahead and try to attach your rope and whatnot. I'm actually going to put eye bolts on mine because my shanty actually has eye bolts too. So we'll go ahead and do that. Just a couple washers, nuts, and eye bolts, and she should be pretty much ready to go for the most part. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. And here would be the final test. Smitty sled versus just trying to pull the shack by itself. Obviously you could tell we got quite a bit of snow in the Midwest the past couple of days, so it'll be a good time to do a test for that. I do just have a scale. I'm gonna go ahead and hook up to the line for both of them and kind of see how much pressure force it takes to go ahead and move the thing. Let's see what happens. So as you can see, zeroed out right now. We don't have the sled fully loaded, but for the most part I think it weighs right around 70-80 pounds. Fully loaded probably closer to 90, but let's see how much it takes to move it. Alright, we got the Smitty sled all loaded up with the shack on top. Obviously we're zeroed out. Go ahead and see how much we pull. fits right in the back of the truck, upside down like I hoped it would, and then we'll go ahead and dump the sled in there, see if it fits on top too. Fits like a glove. So I think that's gonna be my setup this year. Obviously there's a couple things I could do better, but kind of excited. Let me know if there's anything differently you guys would have done down below. Like and subscribe. Thanks.